Hi! The city of Bethlehem is an important part of the story of the birth of Jesus Christ, so much so that it's become one of the symbols of Christmas. Well, we're going to use that to make an easy and elegant Christmas card using the Stampin' Up! Night in Bethlehem stamp set and coordinating Bethlehem Edgelets Thinlits dies. Welcome! I'm Shelley Godby, the owner and CEO of Stamping Smiles, and for 16 years I've been teaching others how to create their own hand-stamped smiles. So while designing my Night in Bethlehem Christmas card, it went through quite a few different versions until I got to the one I like best. And that's the one I'm going to demonstrate for you today. But I'm also going to show you a couple of the other versions so you can pick which one you like best. Here's a closer view of the beautiful Night in Bethlehem stamp set. Oh, just love everything about this. And then we have the coordinating Bethlehem Edgelets dies. And both of these are from the 2017 Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog. When you order the two of them together using the special bundle item number I have listed right here, you'll save 10% on both. So let's start with some stamping. I've got some Night in Navy cardstock. Because it's a dark color, let me put a piece of scratch paper underneath me, and I want to stamp the stars. So on this dark color, the Whisper White Craft stamping pad will look really good. So push, flip, lock that into place. Yeah, I used a stamp that has black on it, and some of it came off, but we'll just stay over here. Okay, and I folded that so we can go off the edge if we like. We're just going to fill this in, and so tap straight up and down so you're not catching it. So you catch it there. Sometimes you can't avoid that, but what will happen is if you press really hard on your cardstock, you'll get that edge, and they call that a halo. So let's just straight up and down, firm but not hard. And I'm rotating so we can get a little bit of a different image. They're not all the same. Okay, come over here, up over in there. Ah, our night sky is just filling up with stars. And then of course we'll be adding the North Star a little bit later. All right, that's probably far enough, but you know what, one more for good measure. There we go. So pull on that lip, flip, and click. Now this is a pigment ink. It's a permanent ink, and so it's going to take a little bit of time to dry. That's why I wanted to go ahead and get that done. The other thing you can do with a pigment ink, you can emboss it. So you could emboss the stars with the white Stampin' Emboss powder, and I did that. And I'll show you later why I chose just to leave them like this, okay? And again, I want you to see both so you can pick which one you prefer. So now we're going to use the Edgelets dies to be able to build our town of Bethlehem. Our easy and elegant Night in Bethlehem card is going to open from the bottom. And so when you look at the dies, look, it's wider than the card. And so what I did when I first started, I cut the whole width of it, and then I was going to show you how to trim it off. And then after I went through so many different renditions, like, wait a minute, that's making it too hard. How about we just go ahead and cut our cardstock to start with the width, and then we don't have to trim off anything. So look, when we open this up, nothing hangs over. So we'll start with the right side. All right, so here I've got my Big Shot die cutting machine and the magnetic platform. It's just going to make it easier for me to hold everything in place when I'm die cutting. It's an additional purchase to the Big Shot, but one I just recommend when you're using the thin metal dies. Okay, and so next for our sandwich, we have a cutting pad, and then we need our soft Sky Cardstock and our die. Feel that edge? That's the cutting edge. We're going to place that down. Okay, and we're going to do both at one time. So what we want to do is place these where we'd like them to hit. I want to make sure I get both of these palm trees. These will probably get cut off, and I'm okay with that. So let me move that over a little bit. So just place them where you'd like for what part of the city you want. And then the rest of our sandwich is another cutting pad. So go ahead and crank this through. Okay, look at that. And then you know what, for good measure, I just like to go ahead and back up and do it again. And so then this just cut all of this for us, and we'll do this in a bit, but look at that. So we've got one more to do. We've got our North Star. So I have some Whisper White cardstock and our star, all from the Bethlehem Edgelets dies. So everything I'm using, all the images and dies are from this same bundle. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Of course, that cutting edge down, start with the lip. And there we go, lickety split. Oh, there it is, stuck to my board. We have our North Star. This piece already fell off, that's fantastic. But to make it easier to get out all those little pieces, I have my Big Shot die brush and the foam mat. We're just going to run this over top. And it's going to help it pop out of that die real easily. And like I said, get out all those little pieces. There we go. So let's take this off. Oh, looking good. Oh, we don't have to poke out anything with the paper piercing tool. And so then our other one, let's do the same thing. And run over top. Oh, just falling right off. Oh my goodness, is this just too cool that we're able to build our city? Let's peel this off. Oh, there we got all of those little pieces looking so, so good. Before we add our die cuts to build our town of Bethlehem, oh, looking so good, going edge to edge, I wanted some sand to put along the bottom. So I've got some Sahara sand cardstock, and then we're just going to dress this up a little bit. So what I did, I cut a wave in a piece of Whisper White thick cardstock using this as a template. I was trying to just hold it in place and it kept moving. So what I have here is some Dado adhesive. This is a repositionable temporary adhesive. So we're going to put this up along our scalloped edge. Stampin' Up! Used to carry this, and I just love it and still keep using it. And if you can't find it at your local craft store, I'll have a link under the video where I picked up mine. So I cut this a little bit bigger, but look, we're just going to hold that in place, and then I'm going to use Sahara Sand Classic Stampin' Pad ink, push, flip, and lock that lid into place. And then I have a quarter of a stamping sponge. I'm going to rub it on here and do some tone on tone. And then let's just rub along here. And what we're going to do is create those ripples in the sand that you see in the movies. Okay, so there's one. We're just going to bring this down. See, that's holding it in place. Like I said, without it, it just kept moving on me. It's like, oh, that's a pain. So just, there we go. And let's do one more. Peel that off. We're getting pretty low to the bottom. This isn't a big piece. And I'll have the measurements. There'll be a link under the video to my blog post with this card with all of the measurements for it to make it easier for you to duplicate. Okay, so let's take this off. There we go. And so instead of just leaving it like that, I just went ahead, because it looks odd because everything else is the Sahara sand, and to just leave that. So I just sponged in some more color. Look at that. Doesn't that look cool? Let's pull on that lip, flip. Okay, so now we add this to the bottom of our card. Oh, that looks so good. Let me get this piece of scrap paper underneath me, and to attach that, I'm going to use the Fast Fuse adhesive. Just love this stuff. It's so nice and strong. Okay, there we go. Put your finger where those ridges are. Let's open this up. I want that flush to the bottom. Let's turn it over and see. Oh, great. Nothing is sticking out. So we'll go ahead and attach that. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so then for our town, it's all set up. I designed this where we'll butt this right to here. Does that look good? We can attach that with Fast Fuse adhesive. And then this will go on next. Okay, so I had done that, and I'll show you one with the windows like this, but then I decided, what if I put some light in the windows? So here are these scraps of cardstock that you save and you think you'll never do anything with them. This was just perfect. And this is So Saffron Cardstock. So I got out my multi-purpose liquid glue, and it was easier to just go around the windows. There we go. So just go around them. There. And then let it dry until it gets clear. There we go. It gets tacky and easy to use, and you won't have glue squirting out all over the place on you. Come over here. So like I said, go around all the windows. Do. On both pieces. You've got, remember we got the other part of our city too right here. And let me show you. So nice and thin. And we'll just cut these off. Now I need a little bit wider piece for some of the other windows. Just place that on there. And a little bit wider for on here. This was bigger, so I need a wider piece for that, okay? And so then when you turn it over, oh, look at that, isn't that great? So to save a little bit of time, you know, by the magic of TV, I have the city already done. Okay, looking good. So let's go ahead and use that fast fuse on here to attach this, to put it down. And, you know, it's a good idea on the palm tree and the tops of our buildings. Whoops, there we go. Like I said, this is easy because you're going to flush it, make it flush right against this. Okay. And at first I didn't catch the tops, and I realized quickly that we want those adhered down. Okay, and so now let's go ahead and use our little mini Stampin' Dimensionals. And you know what I think they should be called? Baby Stampin' Dimensionals. And to build this up, and that'll separate, you know, this part of the city from the back, give it some depth. It's so easy to do. So one at the top of each of our buildings. Okay, I still want the trees, but even these baby dimensionals were still a little bit too big, so I took one off and I'm going to trim it down with my paper snips. There we go. We're going to get this on our palm tree. We want to make sure we can't see any of it from the front, because that would take away from it on the dark cardstock. Okay, we can't, so that's good. So if I needed to, I would trim it down even more. Let's make sure we can't see any of it. Oh, okay, I can a little bit. I don't know if you saw that, but I can pick it up. I can move it up a little bit. Let's check again. Okay, good. Can't see any. Perfect. So let's go ahead and continue with these. It's amazing because with it just laying flat against each other, you know, that looks good, but you give it the depth and wow. It's just something so simple as these foam adhesive dots can make. Let's get one over here on this edge too. Okay. Whoops. All right, looking oh so good. So the trick to get these off, you just press with your thumbnail, those edges pop up. There we go. Oh. Okay. There we go. These are a little bit trickier on the palm tree because they're so little. Oh, that one came up nice. Fantastic. So I don't want to forget that one. All right. I think, yeah, there's still paper in there. It didn't look shiny. Really didn't want to touch them if I didn't have to. Oh, I missed this one too, because that'd take away from their stickiness, but if I had to, I would. Oh, everything is shiny. So now the placement for this. I was trying really hard to come up here so there wouldn't be any gap at all, but we really need for the doorways to all be on the Sahara sand. But then I realized that's okay. You just see a little bit of it, but you know, it's not one solid building. It's buildings in front of, so of course you would have a road. So we've got this from edge to edge. Isn't this sharp? Okay, and so next I have the Night of Navy Classic Stampin' Pad. Push, flip, and lock that into place. And I have Blessed Christmas Wishes. Okay, so I'm going to open this up because I prefer to stamp on a solid surface. I had it folded when I was doing the stars because I didn't want them to go onto that back. give this a really good inking. Oh, looking good. And we'll come right here. Isn't our sand awesome? It's so easy to do. Let's just hold this down a little bit extra long. I'm not pressing really hard, but I just want to hold down a little bit extra long so it's nice and deep against that Sahara sand. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now the only thing left to do is to add our Star of Bethlehem. Oh, here it is. And some fast fuse. And, or you could use a mini glue dot. So I put this up in here, and oh, there we go. Isn't that great? And then for the inside, we also have the sentiment, and I stamped the town, the city that was in there. So again, some fast fuse adhesive. And this is on Whisper White cardstock. Okay, here we go. Oh, isn't that sharp? And it leaves you room for your signature or signatures, you know, for all the names on there. And there we go. Easy and elegant. So I want to show you in a couple different, okay, so here's the same card without the light in the behind the windows, and very pretty too. You know, I decided I like that. If you don't want to fuss with it, that's really pretty too. And then I told you I had embossed the stars. And they're very pretty. Look how vibrant against the blue. But for me, maybe not you, but for me, it was taking away from the North Star. You know, I really wanted that to shine, and so that's why I decided to do just the embossing. I mean, not the embossing, just stamping with the Whisper White craft instead. So there we go. Easy and elegant. Night in Bethlehem Christmas card. My easy and elegant Night in Bethlehem Christmas card is so quick to make. And you'll have to let me know which you preferred by leaving a comment under the video. Did you like the stars stamped in white or embossed in white better? And if you'd like to make my easy and elegant Night in Bethlehem Christmas card, all the supplies are listed under the video and available to order now in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. I'm Shelly Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Thanks for watching.